of time. And David, we ready?
You are ready.
Good evening. We want to welcome everyone to the December 8th meeting of the Metroplex Board of Directors. Welcome those who are watching us on our YouTube channel. We did post the agenda and the meeting packet on our website, which is schenectadymetroplex.org. And we welcome input from the public as always. Our first item on our agenda tonight is approval of the minutes of the November 10th meeting. We have a motion on this.
So moved.
Second, Aaron, thank you. Any discussion, changes? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next is our treasurer's report.
Our total income, actually through November, it's $9,353,603. It's very good. We're sitting on $4,825,630 in cash and equivalents on hand. I think, we're surprisingly ahead of budget and doing very well. I hope this continues on to next year. And we have $131,358 available in the pre-development budget. And a lot of projects, and I think we have 2 more that are going to be allocated tonight. So things are moving in a more normal manner, possibly.
Hopefully.
Okay.
Any questions for Karen on the report or Jamie? Seeing none, can we have a motion to accept? Thank you, Sharon. Have a second. Brad? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting the treasurer's report say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. We have 4 items on our agenda tonight. First one is the second action on the Erie Boulevard self-storage project that we talked about at length last month. I asked Jamie to update us on the final actions this evening.
Right, we have 2 resolutions before you. We did talk about this extensively at the November meeting. We held a public hearing on December 1st, a week ago. No one attended the hearing. We did not receive any comments on it. As we talked about last month, there's extensive site soil remediation going on, which is continuing. So the work is happening there. The first resolution is related to the environmental review, which we have conducted, and it addresses the remediation that's taking place and some other issues, but the resolution calls for a negative declaration as it's listed as an unlisted action. And then the second resolution is the approving resolution for the 3-story, 100,000 square foot climate control facility on Erie Boulevard, $7.3 million project, and Metroplex's participation is an exemption from the sales tax and a pilot for the project.
So we have two resolutions, right?
Yep.
First one is seeker. Any motion? Brad, second. Sharon? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? You're going to abstain as you did last month? Okay, and then we need a motion on the to adopt the general project plan. Karen, seconded. Sharon? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And Neil abstains. Great, we go to Glenville. Yeah, well, once in a while. I have to write everything down, that's my problem. Next, we go to Glenville to an expansion of Del Joso's Cheese's operations out there. And I'd ask you to summarize and I'll probably make a few comments as well.
Right, so Belgioso has opened their new facility in June of 2020, and they recently announced and closed in the last 2 weeks on the purchase of Polly-O cheese. One of their competitors has now been brought in, and a new operation is being set up at the facility in Glenville. On the 40-acre site are a series of buildings. One of them, building 403, is going to be renovated into a storage facility and some offices in support of the new acquisition. It's a $6 million project. They're looking for a sales tax exemption for the improvements that are being made. Seeker was already handled by the town of Glenville for the original project, and I'm sure you remember the purchase of the property from the federal GSA. It was a whole series of actions through Metroplex conveying the property to Belgioso. The facility, which I saw last in, I think, March of 2020. I mean, it's fantastic. We haven't been there since, but we should make a tour of that at some point. But it's a terrific facility.
Okay, we need a motion on this. Brad, second. Karen, further discussion. I want to thank Belgioso. As Jamie said, we this is a great project that really exemplifies what Metroplex is about. We took these vacant, derelict, off the tax rolls, 40-acre property that was the last vestige of the Scotia Navy base. It was owned by the General Services Administration. We bought it for $1.35 million. We sold it to Belgioso for $1.35 million. Belgioso built a $30 million factory there, 100,000 square feet, great paying jobs. We got some very helpful tax credits from the state. The building is up and operational. It's doing great. We sold them 40 acres that also has 3 vacant buildings on it. Each of them are 120,000 square feet. So that's 360,000 square feet that's on the site available for redevelopment. And our sincere hope at the time was that they would move forward with an expansion. Well, here we are less than 2 years after the new factory is open, and they are moving forward to redevelop a 120,000 square foot building 403. They're going to use it for their new polyo operations. It's going to be a cold storage facility, cooler, not a freezer, cooler, cold storage, distribution, and office space, as Jamie said. National company, could have done this anywhere. They're moving this operation from another state, 2 other states, in fact. And we're really excited to move this forward. The incentives are extremely modest. The materials used to renovate the warehouse are exempt from state and federal and local sales tax. So we thank Belgioso, great company, great paying jobs. They have a great team out there, and we urge everyone to help us move this forward tonight. Any other comments or discussion?
It's a little cheesy, but
That's great.
I just have to say it.
Oh, you.
It was too easy. It was just
Come on.
sitting.
Right there. We'll tell the company that. No, they're, okay, see,
How much space is left in it?
they've still got 2 other 120,000 square foot buildings that they've got to deal with.
Okay.
And we've talked to them at different times about knocking one of them down, creating a site. They bought 40 acres because they wanted to grow at this site. It's a great site. It's right off the highway. They are a major national food company, leader in their business, and wonderful family-owned company. And these are good paying jobs. They really want their employees to stay with them for as long as they possibly can. So they really good to their employees, and they pay a great wage. So, any other questions? Seeing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we go up to Upper State Street, or just the State Street blocks just east of downtown, excuse me. Going up State Street, and last year we summarized resolution 1513-21.
Right, this is with the best companies, best cleaners, bought chem cleaners years ago out of bankruptcy, and essentially moved their headquarters to Schenectady mid-block and on the 800 block. Not a terribly attractive facility, never really has been. This project aims to kind of clean it up. They've worked with DEC on some site cleanup that was needed. Now they're moving ahead with a $1.2 million project. A lot of it is dedicated to facade and exterior work, new parking lot, fencing, better sidewalks, better looking building, and then some work on the interior. And they're really kind of a fascinating business, so very entrepreneurial in that they're really expanding not only the dry cleaning business, but their existing businesses in a restoration business. They're in the wedding gown business of both storage and cleaning. They have their own transportation logistics company. So all these things will be converging on State Street. They hire a lot of people locally. So it looks to be a very good project for that part of Schenectady. We're seeing modest improvements as we move along as you look at the street. A relatively small sized building at 19,000 square feet. So they'll be getting a Metroplex sales tax exemption, as well as a grant of $175,000 for the facade improvements. And with respect to seeker, it's a type 2 action. It's exempt because they're making improvements on existing property.
No motion on this, Karen. Karen is second. Great company, growing, a lot of walk to work jobs. We've had some progress on this block, just up from MVP. The new county library looks great. That Family Dollar helped. We took down, what was it, 709 State, David? Was that?
722.
722, my memory fails us again, which was an old bar that really needed some work. Mall condos on that block. We still have a lot of work to do. New Choices built a new facility there that with hybrid development that looks nice. Still have a lot of work to do there. And so this is really almost like it occupies a big space on the block. The state has just completed a major cleanup of the site, which allows the best folks to actually purchase the building and the site, which they weren't ready to do while the cleanup was underway, obviously. So they're really ready. We hope to make some major improvements there. The company's very entrepreneurial. Even during COVID, they continue to operate and diversified. And they have a fire restoration business that's very impressive. They do fire restoration work all over the Northeast and bring it into Schenectady. So I encourage you to move forward with this.
Do you know what they're gonna do with the front of the building? Are they gonna just-
We're gonna work with them on that stuff. We're just getting it started, but we really need that to be, we told them we want a meaningful, the new parking lot, fencing, really make it pop, it's just, it doesn't really, we really want that to look like a new anchor on that block.
Yeah. I didn't see a rendering in here.
No,
I didn't know.
no,
So you're
we're
not down
still,
that far.
I mean,
Okay.
they won't start these improvements until springtime now,
Okay.
but, any other questions?
Will we get a chance to see them?
Yeah, absolutely, we'll share that. We'll be doing some, continue to work with them. Any other questions? Seeing none, we'll call a question. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we come back downtown to talk about our ambassador program with the city.
We had talked about this back in May, and it was kind of an interim program to get the ambassadors back on the street. Now that bars and restaurants were opening up downtown, it's been working pretty successfully. The area is bigger with all the activity down on Lower State Street with Frog Alley, Bountiful Bread, the different apartments that have opened up down there. Love Mike Sakosha working with them on this. We sat around talking about the number of people working, and he basically reduced the monthly request. So we're saving quite a bit of money from where this was. Pre-COVID, we were spending over $100,000. We're at $42,000 for covering the area. Really worked with his team to sort of create some better efficiencies, better timing for being out there when more people are out in the downtown. They certainly are seeing that the activity pick up. So this is for to support the ambassador program for 2022, $42,000 grant for the entire year, $3,500 a year. I think it's a bargain. And they continue to get support from Proctor's now that they're reopening. It's nice they're reopening with the Donna Summer musical, but also from MVP and from Marshall Sterling. So it's a real team support. They opened last night. All right, sorry. Now I'm getting.
How far did he, just, I didn't quite grasp how far the ambassadors spread out? Just give us a little.
Yeah, so they started, they covered from the base of Veterans Park, the county office building, where the Nest is located, and a lot of outdoor activities in the nicer weather. And then go all the way down State Street to the Frog Alley Brewery. So that's a pretty big area. And then they cover some of the side streets where our parking lots are located. Broadway and Barrett Street going over to Union Street. So they usually try to run through our parking lots because obviously that's where a lot of people are parking besides right on State Street itself. So they typically have 3 people out 6 nights a week. It's either 5 nights or 6 nights, depending on the weather and the activities going on downtown.
Yeah. Any other comments, questions?
So I'm assuming that if 2022 turns out to be, yes, better than planned from an activity downtown perspective, would they, and was there a larger need, would they come back to us potentially for, expand?
Yeah.
Is
No, I mean,
like you said, it's a
Proctor's
dramatic
schedule
reduction
is-
from what we were doing previously.
Yeah, Proctor's schedule is still pretty modest compared to what it was pre-pandemic. So that is our understanding that things really start to pick up. There's more activity going on, and we can chat about that.
We're also hoping to keep leveraging our funds with private donations, you know. I mean, MVP has been in, Marshall and Sterling's been in. We want to be in, but we really want them to continue to raise money on the outside.
It's a great program. I think it's an asset to everything that's going on downtown. I just would hate to see it, diminish, for lack of funds.
Sure. And it helps us with panhandling and other issues too, downtown, so. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, on resolution 1514-21, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Next up is public comment. I don't see anyone for the public comment. Public here tonight. We do have a new email address that says, that's info@SchenectadyMetroplex.org for people who, from the public who won't be watching. We can take comments from that email address, and we're going to start publicizing that. Board comment on any subjects?
I'm just happy to see more projects coming.
Sure.
It really does feel like we're getting back to some normalcy here, so it's good to see some projects on the board. Thank you for your hard work.
I was at the county legislature Monday night, and the county legislature moved forward with the purchase of 4 more properties on Lower State Street near the college, adding to the 7 properties that they've already put options on. This is going to be transformational for Lower State Street. It's been a lot of work by Chris Gardner, Frank Solomons, Dr. Steady Mono, Patrick Bryan, the vice president of the college, and others. And it's really a big deal. I think because that's going to be writing something on it for tomorrow, but it's a lot of those properties behind Frog Alley that need some care and some attention, and the county is really stepping up here with the college.
What are the intentions for the college?
The county holds the property in trust for the college, but basically we've already started to clean up the one lot. The most important parcels is a 1 acre lot. We talked about this a little bit last month. The state has just completed a cleanup of the site. The college is looking at it for a couple of different purposes down there. One is just parking up for Lower State. We need more parking. And the trailways station is down, and South Church Street got done ahead of the weather thanks to Jamie's great work. So we appreciate his work. And
The street should be opening at the end of next week.
that is fantastic. And you can take a left there for the first time in a long, how many decades. And David, I want to thank you for getting the trailway station down. It was not easy. It was a bus station built by and for with asbestos.
Yep.
So it was a difficult
Inside
time.
and outside, so.
Right. So thank you. A lot of hard work the last few weeks. So any other comment from the board? I just want to make a comment on the book. We did get some increase today. I understand it was a very successful event yesterday. I just wanted to state for the record that we've had some attention paid to this because of the issues in Albany with Governor Cuomo having a book. And I can just assure everyone who may be watching, we're going to put something out in writing on this if we keep getting inquiries, that no Metroplex resources were used to create the book. It was privately sponsored. We're not supporting the sale of the book. We're not, other than Jamie and I being interviewed. I'm going to go back and mark that as vacation time in my personal timesheet for the county. There's been no Metroplex resources used to either write the book or promote the book. I mean, that was a issue in Albany that occurred with the former governor, and he's gotten into a lot of trouble because of the fact that he used staff time to get his book published. Just want to assure the public that this was a private endeavor, and we appreciate that. It was privately funded, and other than your interview and my interview, there was no other involvement by Metroplex, nor will there be any going forward. So we had some inquiries on that today, which I thought was interesting. So any other comments? Seeing none, we'll take a motion to adjourn and wish everybody a happy holiday. Thank you. We'll be back second Wednesday of January. Thank you.
Down on purpose.